Camtel Actu, Camtel hier, Camtel aujourd'hui, Camtel demain. Camtel Actu, c'est votre plage. Info sur les offres, les services, l'événementiel et les projets de Cameroon Telecommunications. Camtel Actu, c'est votre rendez-vous du samedi. Camtel Actu est une conception du directeur général Judith Ya Sunday, épouse Achidi.
In the Socratic Dialogue Republic, famous Greek philosopher Plato famously said, and I quote, "Our need will be the real creator." This famous quote has been molded over time into the English proverb, "Necessity is the mother of all invention." If there is no demand, there is no supply. If there is no problem, there is no solution. Where a problem exists, we should always be ready to create and seek solutions. That is why the head of state, President Paul Biya, put in place an effective mechanism to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic in Cameroon when it was evident the disease has crossed our frontiers. One of such effective and efficient solutions to cushion the effects of the pandemic was the digital learning used in the education sector. Students preparing for end-of-year exams were able to learn from home thanks to the information and communication technologies. While every other sector was facing a meltdown, it became incumbent for the telecommunications sector to stand up to provide solutions to the rest of the country to survive from home. Keeping up with its oath to serve Cameroonians, Camtel provided unmatchable digital solutions to them to go about their businesses. Digital learning was made easy thanks to the elastic bundles rolled out by Blue at the heart of the pandemic. Camtel took the sting out of the bite in the education community that embraced digital learning, which has today become a way of life. It was thus no surprise when the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, visited Camtel on Tuesday to discuss avenues available to improve digital education and the upcoming FENASCO A Games sponsored by Camtel. The partnership between Camtel and the Ministry of Secondary Education will be the focus of today's edition of the program. This is Camtel Actu. I am your host, Danabit Yunus.
Vous écoutez Camtel Actu.
Camtel has confirmed its participation as official sponsor of the 2023 FENASCO League A Games, which will take place in Garoua and Gashiga from July 29 to August 5. The confirmation was given by the general manager of the telecommunications giant, Judith Ya Sunday, épouse Achidi, on Tuesday, July 11, as she received the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, for a working visit. Vanessa Akum followed through on that meeting and now reports.
Tuesday's meeting was an opportunity for the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, and the General Manager of Camtel, Judith Ya Sunday, épouse Achidi, to review and strengthen ties between their two entities. Several issues featured on the menu of discussion, key among Camtel's support for the improvement of e-learning and the upcoming FENASCO League A Games in Garoua and Gashiga. The General Manager of Camtel made it bold and clear that Blue will keep to its tradition by sponsoring this year's edition of the Games as it did last year in Vomeka. The Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, thanked Camtel for its support to make children blend education and sports as a means to a proper training. She added that the Games present an opportunity to show how academics, sports and technology can blend to produce ideal citizens for the nation. The minister lauded the partnership between the Ministry of Secondary Education and Camtel, which she said will go a long way to foster digital learning in Cameroon. As it is often said, one good turn deserves another. Professor Nalova Lyonga thus instructed her collaborators to seek all avenues for the secondary education community in Cameroon to take advantage of all the juicy offers by Blue and related services by Camtel. Thanks to the solid foundation built from the success of previous collaborations between the Ministry of Secondary Education and Camtel, it is certain the sky will continue to remain blue between the two entities.
Écoutons à présent un extrait du discours du directeur général de Camtel, Judithia Sondé, épouse Achidi, lors de sa séance de travail avec Madame le ministre des Enseignements secondaires.
Dans le but d'encourager la jeunesse camerounaise, fer de lance de la nation, si cher à son Excellence M. Paul Biya, président de la République du Cameroun, Camtel, à travers sa marque Ombrelle Blue, s'engage également à décerner les prix spéciaux suivants. Prix spécial Camtel aux meilleurs athlètes, hommes et femmes, des jeux d'une valeur de 100 000 francs chacun. Aux vainqueurs du tournoi de volley-ball, hommes et femmes, d'une valeur de 100 000 francs chacun. Aux vainqueurs du tournoi de basketball, hommes et femmes, d'une valeur de 100 000 francs chacun. Aux vainqueurs du tournoi de football, hommes et femmes, d'une valeur de 100 000 francs chacun. Un prix spécial Blue aux 3 gagnants du Chantal Biya Excellence Page FENASCO 2023, prix d'une valeur de 100 000 francs chacun. Camtel is fully ready to support the Ministry of Secondary Education in the implementation of its major project you have embarked on, that is e-learning, which will enable the educational community to access learning more easily using electronic tools. Expanding the support even further, Camtel positioned itself as the official sponsor of the 2022 edition of the FENASCO League A Games, which were organized in Vomeka under the distinguished patronage of the First Lady of Cameroon, Her Excellency, Madame Chantal Biya, UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador. The games, as everyone attests, were a resounding success. A mobile connection for live broadcasts on the move during the tour of various touristic sites by the convoy of the Olympic Game Torch. Around the clock, constant and permanent technical support to the teams on site to quickly resolve and prevent any internet connection failures.
Rappelons que Camtel a accompagné la 22e édition des Jeux FENASCO League A en 2022 en Vomeka en qualité de sponsor officiel. Retour sur les éléments forts qui ont marqué le passage de l'opérateur bleu à cette grand-messe sportive. C'est avec Alfred Choya.
Il y avait du beau monde ce jour-là au complexe sportif et culturel Son Excellence Paul Biya à l'occasion de la cérémonie d'ouverture de la 22e édition des finales du jeu FENASCO Ligue A de Vomeka. Camtel, en sa qualité de sponsor officiel, a davantage rendu l'événement mémorable. Le directeur général Judithia Sondé, épouse Achidi, n'a pas lésiné sur les moyens afin que l'entreprise dont elle a la charge soit valablement représentée. C'est ainsi que niveau marketing, 20 banderoles, 2000 t-shirts, 500 polos, 300 casquettes, 100 parapluies, 250 manteaux et des prix spéciaux ont été mis à la disposition du comité d'organisation. Pour une couverture impeccable des différents sites en Wi-Fi 4G, les équipes de Camtel ont procédé aux implantations des appuis, au raccordement et à la pose de la fibre optique, ainsi que la construction de plusieurs liens permettant une connexion Internet fluide. S'agissant du volet culturel, Camtel a mis les petits plats dans les grands. Plusieurs artistes de renommée nationale et internationale, à l'instar de Kopo, Nyangono du Sud, John Duchamp, Moustique Caribastique, Edoudoa et Calvino ont été sollicités pour offrir un spectacle d'envergure à la jeunesse scolaire et aux populations du Dia et Lobo les 30, 31 juillet et 6 août 2022, respectivement pour l'arrivée de la flamme des Jeux, de la cérémonie d'ouverture et celle dite de clôture. Le vivre ensemble était de mise lors de ce grand rendez-vous sportif qui bénéficiera cette année encore du soutien de Camtel, l'opérateur historique des télécommunications au Cameroun.
After last Tuesday's walking visit, our reporter Francis Adjumani caught up with the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, who now situates the context of the partnership between Camtel and her ministry.
Her Excellency the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Lyonga, your visit at Camtel shows the strong partnership that exists between the Ministry of Secondary Education and Camtel. What can we draw from this partnership?
It's a wonderful partnership. We started it last year. We didn't know how well it was going to be. We didn't know what Camtel was going to offer us, but we saw it. And this time we decided to repeat a lot of things that we did the last time. It's a great partnership. I have discovered that Camtel is actually interested in promoting the interests of children, the interests of those who are educators, whether it is in the normal classrooms or whether it is virtually by distance education. You know what they have done for us. You know, what is it, 1530? I think we have a free line to do guidance counseling to all those who are doing education with Ministry of Secondary Education.
Excellency the Minister, you are known as a champion in digital education in Cameroon. What are your expectations from Camtel to keep fostering technological education?
My expectations are many, because distance education has a lot to offer. You know, no sooner do you start talking about distance education than you start talking about AI. I mean, it goes. How far the children are going to absorb the technology, we can't even see where we're going in the future. And that is why we need Camtel. We need somebody who is genuinely interested in the children's future, not just to laugh and feel good and whatever, but to seriously think about how we can use technology to improve the livelihood of Cameroonians.
Last question, Madam, the General Manager of Camtel just announced that Camtel will continue sponsoring the FENASCO League A games after a wonderful performance last year in Fomeka.
Yes.
How dear are these games to you? And what are the level of preparations?
The games are very dear to me because this is the first time that we're trying to make children to see that games and academics go together, hand in hand. If a child is studying, the child should at the same time enjoy himself or herself. So we're giving them games as an opportunity to feel happy and free and everything that they can do for the whole community, so that it is not just academics, it is not just violence, it is free. There's some kind of freedom in the air when you're with blue, and that's why we're going blue, because it spells freedom.
Vous écoutez Camtel Actu.
Rendu à la phase retour dans la poule du centre, le Blue Corpo Championship se déroule avec sérénité dans les autres régions du pays. Il faut dire que ce championnat dévoile son attrait au fil des journées. L'apport substantiel de Camtel pour la renaissance de cette compétition est évoqué dans cette analyse de Joël Sava.
Prêter son épaule pour la consolidation des fédérations sportives nationales est une panacée pour Camtel. La dernière en date est la Fédération camerounaise de football à travers cette convention qui les unit désormais pour la résurgence du championnat national des corpos et vétérans depuis le 17 avril dernier. À travers cet accord cadre, l'on peut dire que Blue a associé sa marque à une vision, celle de redonner au football camerounais toute sa grandeur. La compétition a d'ailleurs été rebaptisée pour prendre la dénomination de Blue Corpo Championship, à l'effet de signifier sa nouvelle naissance. Sur l'ensemble des 4 régions où elle se dispute, la candeur du Blue imprègne cette compétition éponyme. La dévotion des hauts cadres de Camtel pour la visibilité du Blue Corpo Championship force respect et admiration. Dans le centre, tout comme dans le littoral, l'ouest ou le nord-ouest, les stades sont parés aux couleurs de bleu. Il faut certainement rappeler à la mémoire collective qu'à travers ce sponsoring, Camtel redonne vie à une compétition nationale qui n'avait plus droit de citer depuis 3 ans. Côté pelouse, la sérénité tient les rênes. Les meilleurs joueurs des parties sont primés. Des séances d'autocritique sont régulièrement organisées à l'effet de réduire la corruption dans ses portions concrues et garantir l'impartialité des hommes en noir. La poule du centre a amorcé sa phase retour le 8 juillet au cours d'une 6e journée dont le fait majeur reste la première défaite enregistrée par la formation de la FECAFOOT. Blue Corpo Championship est à sa 3e journée dans le littoral où Vétérans en foudre mène le bal avec 7 points au compteur sur 9 possibles. L'on a joué pour le compte de la 4e journée dans la poule de l'Ouest ainsi que dans la ville de Bamenda en ce qui concerne la poule du Nord-Ouest. Quant à la team Blue FC, les protégés d'Onisefort Ndiaga rechaussent les crampons ce week-end pour croiser le fer avec la redoutable formation de la FECAFOOT.
You are listening to Camtel Actu.
To return to the specific case of the cut of last July 7, 2023, some municipal roadworks at the level of Monte Chapelle-Aubili had an impact on the continuity of the signal on these loops, thus leading to the disruption of services as you may have noticed. However, very quickly, Camtel's operational technical teams immediately went to the site, having of course been informed by Camtel's NOC, to re-establish the optical fiber connection by laying a temporary aerial cable and merge. Our teams are still on site to normalize this underground link. It should also be noted that other projects are underway with some stakeholders to roll out alternative optical fiber routes in order to achieve greater redundancy and very high reliability.
You were listening to the technical director of Camtel, Amadou Said. In the next edition of this program, more details will be given about factors that could disrupt the network and measures put in place to prevent such network faults in the future. Stay tuned.
Camtel Actu General Supervision, Judith Yasande, épouse Achidi. This program is available on our website at www.camtel.cm and all our YouTube. See you next time on your favorite radio station. Stay tuned.